Hey everyone. So I just wanted to quickly get on and make a short video today, or long, who knows, however long it takes, about how we can reframe our thought when we are experiencing stressful situations. I currently am caregiving for my grandma. Let me also explain. I'm just wearing tape on my forehead because I noticed my face is starting to age. And so I'm doing all kinds of facial exercises. I did some microneedling yesterday. I have all kinds of stuff going on with my face, but this tape right here keeps me from squinching my face and making that 11 line. So tip for you, you can tape that instead of getting Botox. So anyway, my point with this video is, how do we reframe our thought process when we're going through something stressful? I personally take care of my 94, almost 95-year-old grandma, and I'm here holding down the fort. It's really stressful. She's slowly dying, which is maybe more challenging than quickly dying. I don't know. I'm watching her suffer every single day. I don't have a job outside of that. I do have a fledgling business that's 2 years old, and it's just breaking even now. And there's just a lot of things going on, and I'm aging and I'm not getting the results that I want at the gym right now. There's a lot of things that are going on in my mind. And I'm sure that you have something similar, because all of us have so much in our lives and there's so much to worry about, stress about, all of those things. So I've been finding that I'm waking up feeling really stressed out. And I've also been finding that I have been speaking to myself in a negative way, not all the time, but when I do really think about, okay, I'm feeling stressed right now, what are my thoughts? So if you're feeling stressed, it's really important to you, for you to start checking what you're thinking, because usually stress comes from how we are thinking about a situation. And if we're in a situation that feels uncomfortable because we don't want it to be that way, or we have some sort of aversion to the situation, it's usually going to trigger negative thought like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I can't stand this. This is awful. I don't want to be doing this. I want, just all kinds of thoughts that we don't really pay attention to. So if you find yourself feeling really stressed, it's important to stop, take a minute, say, hey, I'm feeling stressed right now. What am I thinking to myself? What situation is causing the stress? And what am I thinking to myself about that situation? And once you figure that out, you can then reframe your thoughts into a more positive, more optimistic outlook, no matter what you're going through. Because here's the thing, we're all going to always be going through something. And it is how you greet what you're going through, no matter how challenging, that makes a difference in how much stress and anxiety and depression and whatever emotional thing you experience. So for me, I right now think to myself, okay, it's temporary, for what my grandma's going through, and that because it is temporary, I need to find some way to enjoy being here with her before she goes, because I'm not ready for her to go. And it is also really challenging watching her suffer. And say something like, my face is starting to age, and instead of being like, oh my God, I'm looking old, I'm looking old, I'm gonna look old, I'm not gonna be beautiful anymore. Okay, those are the thoughts that most people would start thinking. I am saying to myself, I'm taking control of the situation. I am going to, and I started doing face yoga again. So I'll say every day my face gets a little bit younger. Every day I work on face yoga, my face gets a little bit younger. Every day it gets a little bit better. There's something that you can say to yourself about whatever situation your brain is spinning on, that is going to be more positive than what you're thinking that might be doom and gloom. So take a look at your thoughts. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling any of those feelings, one, figure out what it is that's making you feel that way. Like, what is it that's triggering you to feel that way? Is it Is it that you're not in a good relationship and that relationship isn't going the way that you want it to go? Or, is it that you have a job that is really stressful and you don't like what you're doing? And then what are you saying to yourself about what it is that's triggering the stress? Oh, I hate this. This is awful. This is terrible. You can say, this is temporary. I'm moving toward a solution. And really start looking for solutions to the situation that is triggering your stress and anxiety, or depression. Because if you just say those things to yourself, the more positive things, and you don't take action, well, it can help. It can help just to be optimistic. It does help. And also, it is so important to really find a solution so that you can take yourself out of that place, and move into a place where you feel more comfortable, where it's in more alignment with who you are. Like, say, for instance, a job. If you're working a job you hate, well, it's temporary, and start looking for a position that you really like. If you're in a relationship that is not working, then, it's temporary. And if you are thinking it's permanent, be careful with that thought process, because sometimes we get into relationships that are out of alignment with us, and it doesn't matter how much you love the person, it's just going to end up kind of toxic. If you don't find a solution, and if you don't, go to counseling, or you go to a therapist yourself, decide if that relationship is actually right for you. This is a whole nother subject, but that's a harder one. However, you can speak to yourself differently about it, and you can start looking for solutions, like going to therapy, couples therapy, really deep diving into, is this what I want for myself? And is it a codependence thing? There's all kinds of things to really start looking for a solution to take action on, to move forward and get out of that space. Trust me, I know. Was in a 15-year marriage that wasn't working for either of us. We were in it way too long. And it's really important to look at what's happening and not be afraid of the outcome if you take action that is drastic. I hope that you can take the time, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling uncomfortable, to look at the situation that you're in and really pick it apart. And is it really that terrible? Okay. And most of the time it's not. It's just that we need to make some changes, and that feels terrible. We don't like to change. It's challenging, and most people like to just take the easy route, which unfortunately ends up making us feel really terrible in the end. So take a look at the situation that you might be experiencing, see what you can do to find some gratitude around it. It could be worse. This is something that I practice also, gratitude and positive thought. Gratitude for the situation not being worse. Everything can always be worse. So if you can just find gratitude for the situation not being worse, you're already ahead, okay? And then reframe it. How can you look at it more positively? How can you make it a temporary situation? What then can you do to take action on shifting it to a more positive experience for yourself? Okay, that's all I have to say. I'm going to go back to painting. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and that you're able to reframe those thoughts and really cause a sense of balance within your system and within your mindset, because it's just so important for us to always be watching what we're thinking. If you're running a negative script that's looping and looping and looping, and you're not paying attention to it, it's really going to drag you down into a lot of emotional discomfort, and however that presents for you. So take a look at yourself. Take a look at your thoughts, take a look at your situation, see where you can take action, reframe everything to a more positive light, and keep doing that for the rest of your life. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves.